ada pertemuan lebih lanjut ya
Lebih
untuk
lanjut,
mengklirkan. Mohon arahan dari semua pihak termasuk khususnya ini Nahkoda.io, Pak Dr. Udi Samanhudi, dan juga Bu Dr. Rahmi dan Dr. Zul yang mewakili Untirta dengan BUM. Baik, mungkin tanpa lebih lama lagi kita langsung masuk ke sesi acara dan saya telepon diserahkan kepada Bu Dr. Ayuning Budiati sebagai moderator dan sebagai MC. Kami persilahkan Ibu, terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi sholli sodri wa yassirli amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Sejahtera, namo buddhaya, om swastiastu. Saya harapkan semua selalu dalam keadaan sehat dan lindungan Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Tuhan Yang Maha Esa. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Hari ini kita mengadakan acara yang sangat luar biasa, research talk tentang National Security System in Combating COVID-19 Pandemic in Indonesia and Malaysia. Alhamdulillah sudah ada para pembicara. Saya belum melihat yang saya hormati. I haven't seen Dr. Riswanda, but I'm sure he will be here. Okay, good morning everyone. Oh, okay. Pak Riswanda asking for the backdrop. Would you please Pak Udi or Ibu Iko?
Sudah.
Okay.
Sudah Bu, I have.
Thank you very much. Okay, first of all, I would like to ask Ibu Rahmi, Vice President 1, Visip Untirta, to open the remark of this event. Please, Ibu.
Thank you, Ibu. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We respect the Chancellor of Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa University, Head of Untirta International Service Center, Mr. Udi Samanhudi, Ph.D, along with the staff, Dr. Zuliana, Azwa, Binti, Zulkifli, Senior Lecturer, School of Government, SOG, College of Law, Government and International Studies from Universiti Utara, Malaysia, Mr. Riswanda, Ph.D, Faculty of Social and Political Science, Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa University, Vice Dean of Visip Untirta, Chairperson of the Public Administration Science Study Program, and all study program leaders, Quality Assurance Group, and Head of Labs and Journal in the Environment of Visip Untirta. Ladies and gentlemen, lecturer of Visip Untirta, student staff, and the entire academic community of Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa University, whom we respect and honor. Praise be to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. With His blessing, we can all gather and join in this event in good health. In Indonesia, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact on all aspects of the nation's life, starting from the health sector, economic, education, religion, and other sections are affected. The central government has made various effort to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. The health sector, the government has tried to accelerate the implementation of tracing, testing, and treatment, fulfill the stage of treatment for COVID-19 patients, fulfill oxygen need, accelerate vaccination for the entire population of Indonesia. The government has accelerated the distribution of various financial donation for the community. The government has issued policy scheme to minimize the impact of the pandemic. Everything is done solely to protect all of us Indonesian people. Handling the COVID-19 pandemics is not only the task of the central government, it requires collaboration and mutual cooperation of all elements of society, and even collaboration with neighboring countries, including Malaysia, to solve pandemic problem, and until no effort are still being made. To explore this study, in our midst, there are resource persons who are expert in their field. Thank you to Dr. Zuliana, Azwa, Binti, Zulkifli, and Mr. Riswanda, Ph.D., which will be hosted by Dr. Ayuning, Budiati. Thank you for all those who have contributed. Hopefully, all the good deeds that have been given will be rewarded. Now, let us officially open this event in tema National Security System in Combating COVID-19 Pandemic in Indonesia and Malaysia by saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Maybe Allah bless you. May Allah bless you. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakillah khair. Thank you very much for our Vice President, our Vice Dean of Visipun Tirta. May I ask Dr. Udi, would you like to give some small speak?
Bu Ayu, thank you very much. This is an honor. I thought that I would just give like the closing, but then you invite me for the opening, which is great. Thank you very much again to Dr. Zuliana and then Pak Riswanda. Yeah, this is a super occasion for us to share each other. I think speaking about what we can see the progress of COVID-19 and then the issue of normal and new normal life is something that we can you know, try to you know, to understand better through the policy perspective. And this morning time, I believe that the issue related to security and then the issue related to policy with this new normal after the COVID-19 outbreak, I think would be very interesting to discuss. And I believe that would be like questions from audience who will ask you more questions related to the how life would be after this COVID-19 pandemic. And then from the policy perspective, I think there will be like changes. And then from the security things, there are also changes. So I think discussing this issue of security will also be, you know, great for its side. I mean, in Malaysia context and Indonesian context, and students are here also, I think, joining to study a lot from this morning session. Bu Ayu, thank you very much. This is a super impromptu, you know, opening.
I love doing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bu Ayu.
You are always the best. Okay, without further ado, I would like to read the curriculum vitae of Ibu Dr. Zuliana Azwa. She is very great. Dr. Zuliana Azwa Binti Zulkifli. She is a senior lecturer, School of Government, College of Law, Government and International Studies, Universitas Utara, Malaysia. Contact number 6013229985 and email zuliana@uum.edu.my. She's an expert in crisis vulnerability studies, specializing in public management topic. Her area of interest is the crisis vulnerability, managing public sector governance and public management. She's an alumni at University Sains Malaysia or USM under Center for Policy Research and International Studies. She received her MA in Governance and Public Policy from University of Sheffield, United Kingdom in 2015. She had been selected honors include scholar under scheme Latihan Akademik Bumi Putra by Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia, program Pasca Siswa Luar Negara MARA, and program Ijazah Sarjana Muda Dalam Negara by Public Service Department Malaysia. She is also a first-class degree graduate by University Technology Malaysia in 2012. Her academic and professional qualification, discipline from administrative science from UTM Marburg Kedah, governance and public policy from University of Sheffield, United Kingdom, public management, University Sains Malaysia, Pulau Pinang. And her supervision coming from Peng Min Hao, Ph.D. research in the dilemma and countermeasure of social organization participation in social governance in developing countries, taking China as an example. She's teaching Introduction to Public Administration, very interesting, Malaysian Constitution, Practicum, Academic Project Paper, Leadership in Public Management. And her publication from book, The Vulnerability to a COVID-19 Outbreak in Malaysia, Panel Analysis During Endemic Phase, Agroterrorism and Empirical Study of Preparedness in Malaysia. And then many more journals and publication, and also many more from very, very long list of seminar, academic recognition, service of the university, community, journal, which is very valuable. And then I think we'll put it in the chat room if Dr. Zuliana give permission. Okay, without further ado, thank you very much. Would you please to give your speech or presentation, Dr. Zuliana?
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih. Can I request that this session we're going to be like in mix, both in Indonesia, in Malay language and English?
Sure.
Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. A very good morning to all of the participants to our research talk for today. My name is Dr. Zuliana Azwa Binti Zulkifli. In UUM, I was known by the name of Dr. Zu, or you can say Dr. Wawa, because there are like several lectures that have a same name as me. Because I'm here Zuliana, but we got another lecturer named Zuliana. It's just L and R. So my name in my nickname in UUM is mostly Dr. Wawa and Dr. Zu. So I come from the School of Government, College of Law, International and Law, Government and International Studies from Universiti Utara, Malaysia. Universiti Utara, Malaysia is in the northern part in Malaysia. We are like 10 minutes to our border of Thailand. So feel free to come if you got opportunity after this. So I am here today for this morning talk to talk about a security issue which is related to COVID-19 that I think it is a great important for both countries, either in Malaysia and also in Indonesia. So my objective here is to share my insight. This is based on my perspective that maybe we can have like a sharing the knowledge with this session. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for allowing me to share this insight with the Tirtayasa for this research talk under the topic of national security system in combating COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia and Malaysia. And my topic of concern today is regarding the Malaysia and Indonesia security cooperation. So let me share my slide for today. So this is the front slide. So this is my background. My background is already been introduced by the opening remark just now. So just a little bit about myself. I am fine. Topic of expert is normally on a crisis vulnerability, and previously I only focus on the dengue, but this is like a new topic of concern that recently I focus on the COVID-19. So I got my undergraduate studies in Malaysia, but I pursue my masters in University of Sheffield, United Kingdom, and then I do my 4-year studies in University Sains Malaysia for public management. Center of Policy Research and International Studies. So just a little bit sharing regarding my faculty. This is a School of Government. If you can see, we have like a lot of nature here, very green nature. We also been acknowledged as the most green university in Malaysia because we are in the northern part near the border. If you can see, there are a lot of nature. We got a lot of animals, a lot of plants that are still be preserved in our university. So feel free to come, Pak Udi, Dr. Udi, Mbak Iko, if you get time after this, okay? Okay, School of Government, Pusat Pengajian Kerajaan. Okay. So basically for the topic of concern today, I would like to share my insight based on the three main elements, which is first of all regarding the relationship of Malaysia and Indonesia, and then we can see what is the circumstances that that occur during and after the COVID-19 outbreak. And this is a new highlight that I would like to share with all of the participants for this research talk today, which is regarding Madani. Madani is a new term being introduced by our government. So Madani is also being implemented in combating Malaysia post-COVID-19 outbreak, which I later will discuss further with the session after this. So I hope that everyone is going to be interested to hear about Madani because it's still a new, being launched in January 2023. Okay, let me start. Okay, if there is another question from the floor, you feel free to interrupt me. So maybe that because in a normal practice, we can see that opening the Q&A session at the end of the session. But at last, most of my students said that they forgot what they are going to ask. So if you have any like if you don't understand, we say that I want a further elaboration regarding this, just feel free to interrupt me. Or if you think that there are some insight that you also want to share, feel free to inform me. Okay. So I hope that we can just have like a very smooth session regarding this topic today. So just a little bit of sharing regarding the Malaysia and Indonesia relation. This is basically the picture of our Prime Minister. This is our latest Prime Minister, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, and with your President. And this picture was taken in January. If I'm not mistaken, this picture, Indonesia is actually the first country that he visited after he was he became the Prime Minister. That shows that how our Prime Minister is actually very concerned with the relationship with Indonesia. Where he it's like we're going to say like our diplomatic relation is very close with the Indonesia. So for the history, we got the relation right after the Malaysian independence, which is from the year 1957. So Indonesia and Malaysia, we are the neighboring nation, or we can say like negara berjiran. Okay. And we got like many similarities and many aspects. For example, we got like almost the same in reference to our culture, in reference to our religions, and our language, Indonesian and Malaysian, is almost like mutually intelligible. It's not like I can understand like, oh, I understand that Indonesia is very big and they get a lot of slang, but there is a part of we can understand, and there are also the part that we cannot understand. So mostly that our culture and our it's mostly like interchangeable. It's like it's the same. It's most similar, and we also the Malaysia and Indonesia is the country that the founding members that are Muslim majority country that are founding member for that are founding members for the ASEAN, for the APEX, and the lot of other association that we are, both Malaysia and Indonesia is actually related. So for the territory, we can see that most of the current Malaysian borders and Indonesia is inherited from the Dutch and the British area. So recently we got the border from the Strait of Malacca and the South China Sea. And regarding the tourism, we can see that both countries, either in Malaysia or either in Indonesia, both have the generate income in terms of tourism, where we can see that Indonesia is actually our second largest, Indonesia is the second largest visitors to Malaysia, and Malaysia is also the second largest visitors to Indonesia. We love to visit Indonesia, and also Indonesia also love to visit certain places in Malaysia. For example, like Penang. Penang is famous for the Indonesian travelers, right? So is there any other place in Malaysia that you're interested, that is a famous visit in Indonesian? No. And for Indonesia, for Malaysian, we interested to visit Bandung, Medan, Jakarta. So I only have opportunities to visit to Jakarta and Medan. So maybe someday I can go to other places, because there's a lot of my friends starting from my masters and also my PhD. I got a lot of friends that come from Indonesia. That's from Surabaya. That's from Bandung. So I should use this opportunity to visit. So regarding this relation, that you can see that Malaysia and Indonesia have the good tourism in terms of our tourism aspect, and also regarding our culture relation, we got like for the environment, we can see that I would like, for the environment, we can see that both countries also have like go towards the green, go towards like making a good nature regarding the environment. So for the media, we can also see that Indonesia and Malaysia relation, we got like some of the Malaysian entertainment, for example, like Upin Ipin, maybe it's well known in in Indonesia, and a lot of the Indonesian sinetron is very well known in Malaysia as well. So we can see that most of the aspect in our territory, in our tourism, in our environment, media, education, we got like a common of interest. But how about our COVID-19? So this is a topic of concern that I would like to highlight for today, which is COVID, as per for our well-known, it is actually a disease that is called COVID because of coronavirus disease. So when I try to search further regarding what is actually the relationship that we do during COVID, actually it's not a lot. We cannot see much. However, there is a lot of relationship that we can see after the COVID period. So COVID caused by a novel coronavirus, SARS, and this is actually a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic that in Malaysia, that I would like to share, it started from 2020. This is the milestone. Okay, we can see that it started with only 4 cases in January 2020. After that, it's going to be like so many waves, so many people got affected, with like a high number of deaths, which caused a lot of impact to our society and to our nation. I believe this is also the same that occur in Indonesia. COVID-19 have give a new perspective towards my my life. I like almost 30 something. This is like the first time I experienced the lockdown, And I hope that this is not going to be happen again, even that we can hear there's a lot of mutation, there's a lot of new new disease that comes, but I hope that it is not come to the pandemic part, because for me, I can say that it's like a nightmare, it's like a dark time throughout the pandemic period, where for the cumulative case in Malaysia, there are numbers of increasing cases. So starting from the 25th Jan of 2020, at that time we under the our Prime Minister is Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, but now we have to change like nearly 3 of our Prime Minister. So we impose mostly the restriction order, movement control order. In Malaysia, they got like almost like 4 restriction order, which is like start from phase to phase. We look, for example, it start with the MCO, movement control order. So we see to what extent do we need to proceed with the conditional movement control order, CMCO, and then proceed with the recovery movement control order, and lastly CMCO. It was depend on the situation. The situation of during COVID-19, the government in Malaysia have like every day during the earlier January of 2020, every day in our television, like around 5 p.m, the health director general will make announcement on how many cases that we experience on that day, how many new cases, how many deaths, and to what extent they can cater, which is will look on our hospital capacity, how many space that are available for the facilities of the ICU and the bed. So due to that condition, the government decide to proceed, either continue with the control order, or either there is like making it like loosen the certain restriction also being lift up. So this is actually the sharing that I can share regarding the for example, during the MCO, which is the first movement control order, there's also social distancing. There are a lot of our school and also even our religion, like malls, being closed, where everyone is suggested to stay at home. This is the norm that everyone is need to cater. It is actually most of the feedback that get from the public said that this is like tremendous action taken, because they are not expecting that COVID is going to be worse as that. And it's like every day during that period, we are hoping that please lift up this movement control, because it caused like a lot of impact to the society. Okay, so we can see that after the period, after a certain time, there are certain restriction is being lift up. For example, like this is start to allow you can go for work, you can start go during RMCO, you can start go to the mosque, you can back to your institution, you can have like a social gathering with your family members, and that time is still like in control. For example, if you have like social gathering, it must be less than 20% in the crowded, in the like small places. And that is the thing that change from time to time. Okay, during the MCO, CMCO, RMCO, and the last one CMCO. So I can say that after the period of 1st April 2020, this is the time that we in Malaysia experiencing endemic phase. Endemic phase is like from the pandemic change to the endemic phase. This is the phase that we start to feel free. We start to open our border, which is people from other country also can come to Malaysia. And this is like we start to live with the almost like normal norm. However, it is not like the normal norm that we expect is not totally the normal norm that same as before. This is because of the disease is still available. It's just that we got the vaccine, almost like the government make it compulsory for our citizen to have at least like 2 doses of vaccine. Everyone got their vaccine, so we depend on the vaccine right now. And even though that we still have a COVID-19 around, but we can see that for the trend, it is not like if you get infected with COVID-19, it's not going to bring you to death. It also reduced the numbers of the admitted to the ICU. So for after the 1st April of 2020, so next month is going to be like our 1-year anniversary of I can say freedom. There are a lot of things that before this is not allowed. We can see that circumstances before COVID-19, during the pandemic period, previously we need to have the home quarantine. We got an app named My Sejahtera. My Sejahtera is like for Malaysian. My Sejahtera is like compulsory apps for you to install. If you go anywhere, you need to scan, you need to show your vaccination status. So after 1st April 2020, the law, I can say the rules and regulation is like not as strict as per pandemic phases. Where for our travelers, you can come to Langkawi. You doesn't need to have the PCR test at the KLIA. So this is the thing that I can see, like I hope we can bring like a new growth to our tourism and also our economy. We bring better. So this is the procedure. It's just a sharing. Maybe regarding the before this, we need to download the apps. That it can say that we are towards the reopening safely. Okay. So based on the endemic phases, currently we have like for almost like 1-year anniversary of our endemic phases. We can say that we have like no choice. We need to live in this pandemic. It's not pandemic. We need to live with COVID-19. It's not either you like it or either you don't like it. Now, there are some, because I got like some feedback that says that home isolation, stay at home is a very maybe it's good for certain people. They love to stay at home, but there are a lot of people who did not like the situation during the movement control orders. But as according to expert, you need to proceed with your life. Because either you want it, either you like it or not, this is the norm that we need to face. This the action that the experts say that the COVID-19 will remain. People need to adapt to safely live with it. Yeah. So in Malaysia, we have, even though we live, it's not like totally like live up of all of the restriction. There are still in certain places in Malaysia, they are required to for you to wear the face mask. There are also the procedure, for example, for you to get admission to the hospital, you still need to have like the COVID-19 test. So it's not saying that this norm is not in Malaysia for after the COVID. If we are saying that we are in the endemic phase, it's not saying that we are totally like free from this COVID-19. There are still COVID-19 around, and there are still precautions around, and we are saying we try to adopt and adapt our life into the new life after the COVID-19 pandemic. So it's also said that the government suggests the public, they need to take care of their own health. If they did not concern on their own health, it's hard for the government to control them. So living in this endemic phase is more on let you to decide, give the public a decision, like the freedom to decide what is actually the best for their life. For example, even though we currently did not have to wear like masks everywhere, it's not, there are certain places that allow. No. But if you have the symptom, you are not feeling well, we suggested for you to wear the face mask. This is like being like your culture right now. That's different from previous before COVID-19. We didn't know the face mask. Even in Malaysia, we face that the face mask can cost around 19 ringgit Malaysia. I'm not sure in Indonesia is how much, but during that period of pandemic, 19 ringgit for one box is totally very expensive. But right now, Alhamdulillah, it's getting better. I can say the government take the action to control the price of the face mask, to control certain things that become the basic necessity for the public. There is an interruption with the government policy to make sure that we able to cope with the COVID-19. So this is basically a little bit of statistic. There are a lot. There are still, if you can say, from 6 March, I got this information from Worldometers. Worldometers always update regarding the COVID-19 outbreak. Until now, also they frequently update the data. And from the graph, from the numbers, we can see that until today, there are also numbers of cases, new cases reported. But we can have like number of our recovered person is much more better compared to the death. Previously, we got a very high number of death cases. So as per Malaysia and Indonesia, this is the trend that you can see from January to March. You can see, for example, in Malaysia and Indonesia, the trend is almost like fluctuate and it's being like become low. So I hope that in Indonesia is also facing like enjoying your freedom in terms of COVID-19. It's not like totally free. It's more it's like endemic phase. I hope that Indonesia also enjoying the endemic phase of the COVID-19 outbreak. Because in Malaysia, this is that happened in our landscape, in our environment right now. The numbers of COVID cases, there is a COVID cases, but the case is not will lead you to death. Alhamdulillah, the numbers is small and the hospital is also able to manage the numbers with of COVID-19. So this is the weekly, as we can see, Indonesia is in number 9, in Malaysia is in number 10. We can see that there are still a number of cases, but as per it's not like as per serious as during our pandemic session, our pandemic period. So actually Madani is the thing that I would like to share regarding the our talk for today. This is actually the new norm. It's not the new norm, the new term that been introduced by our government. It had been launched 19th of January 2023 by our Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, regarding Madani. And in his book, he come out with book actually. If you can see the picture, he actually signing his book launching, which is Membangun Negara Madani, VC, and I also got the book with me. To know further about the policy, to know further what is actually Madani, because me at the first place is like, what is Madani? What is the government and try to introduce Madani? And even in the one chapter in this book, they are talking about COVID-19, which is a Madani untuk Malaysia pasca COVID. In his book, he's saying means that COVID-19 is not something that is going to be forgotten. It will be part of our policy, will be part of in our every of the government initiative or agenda. So Madani for Malaysia for post COVID-19. So this is Madani. Madani is stand for kemampanan, kesejahteraan, daya cipta, hormat, keyakinan, ihsan. There's like 6 shift that they try to obtain in Madani. But from my personal, I can say it's quite hard to find. Normally the acronym is easier for us to remember, but Madani is kind of like you need to find, oh, kemapanan, M is there, A is for kesejahteraan. Okay, so the acronym is acronym is being, for example, being created to make it easier for us to remember. But I can say that with Madani, it's still hard for me, still in the process of remembering of this 6 stop trust that they try to achieve in Madani. Actually, from what I can say, it is a human concept. Madani is a human concept that it's easy. For example, if I can see that from the previous prime minister, we got like leaders who are always thinking when they become the prime minister, they try to make like hala tuju towards the nation punya hala tuju. However, for the previous almost like that, but there are still leaders who are not it's like not focusing on like this. This Madani concept is more like for your internal. Is not because previously, if you are saying that our Malaysia is more toward the, for example, look to the outside. We look for the outside. We look for the dasar pandang ke timur. We got like look west we implement like a lot of the west or either in east idea to come to our implementation of the policy. However, different with the Madani concept, it is more on the concept that you try to strengthen is the thing that from inside of your country. This Madani concept is saying that previous might think that the outsiders is great, so that it's like we are always thinking like look for the West, like the West is able to solve everything, but this is actually lacking in our perspective actually, because we love to praise and admire other success. At the same time, we are actually downgrade and overlook our own strength. What is actually our own strength, our own success, our own idea, our history, that's also great, and where the West is actually admire us. So this is the thing in the Madani concept that we try to upgrade. It is not the thing that we look from the outside, but we are looking for the thing, we are trying to strengthen the thing inside our government itself. So for COVID-19, during it is a human concept. Okay, they try to this is the framework that I come out after I read regarding how they try to implement Madani towards the Malaysia after COVID, where they got the approach, they got the policy, post-normal dimension, which is the post-normal dimension is more discussing regarding the challenge, where what is actually the challenge that we are going to face in order for us to implement this concept for the pasca COVID-19. And with the challenge is actually what is our way forward, what we can do in order for us to cope with the COVID-19. So for the approach, we can see that previously that we underestimate the impact of COVID-19. I can say that during that time, if we take that better precautions, maybe we can do better, because it start from January 2020. We might, because it is, maybe this is like the new experience. We did not think that the COVID will come, give the impact to us like this. So most of the, I can say that most of the country, include Malaysia, is unprepared to the tremendous effect of the COVID-19, because it is not something that come in the slow motion. It come like tremendous. So most of the country is unprepared. So what we can say that this is the thing that we try to find, that this is a thing that we need to improve. So previously, we already faced that with the Madani, we target what is actually the population that will need our concern. For example, in Malaysia, we got like B40. B40 is the we got the T20, medium 40, and B40. B40 is the top bottom level in the economic triangle, which is like the population we are targeted, that they are the one who highly impacted during COVID-19, because they are unable to go for work. For most of the for M40 mostly come from the work with the government. They got their salary, like even though that during the MCA order, movement control order, still get the salary. But for the B40, almost B40 is come from the group of people that work as the sailors, as the nelayan, as the pesawah. They are the one who, if they're not going to go for work, they did not have something to eat. So during COVID, they are totally impacted. So the government, with the new approach, try to locate what is actually the population that highly impacted, that need our help, enable to them to combat, to live during the pasca COVID-19. So our government do the step to target that population. It is not saying that T20 is not affected. There are also study who found that during COVID-19, even T20 become B40. There is also cases because, for example, if you are involved in the hotel industry, in the tourism industry, in the airlines, they are among the top group of people that losing their job during COVID-19 because they cannot operate during the movement control orders. So this is the thing that a government target the population and try to help regarding their population. So in order for us to provide the policy imperative, we go based on the economy, law, institution, and etc. And for the economy, I can say that as previously, that during the COVID-19 outbreak, the government allow the public to have like to take moratorium. Moratorium is like you lengthen you freeze your current payment, but you lengthen your period of payment. So during the period of COVID-19, there are a lot of society, there are a lot of people who think that they are unable to make a payment, so they take moratorium as part of their action to live during COVID-19. So the government during the Madani concept after COVID-19 is looking forward regarding because right now after COVID-19 there are no more moratorium. So payment is like usual. You need to pay for your financing and etc. So the government start to rethinking regarding their action, or actually how they can help the citizen. Also same with the, it's not only moratorium, there are also the government come up with the a lot of the bantuan, we give the bantuan sara hidup to the citizen during the COVID outbreak. And this, all of these like moratorium, this monetary injection in the is being revived. It's either they still need to proceed or either they need to like end towards the end. They got the public start to live if they're normal now. So in Madani, they are saying that this is the thing that we need to look forward, rethink on our economy. And for our law, you can see that in Malaysia, you can see that during the COVID-19 outbreak, even during the period of 2020 to 2023, now we got like, I can say like our political system at that time is totally it's not strength, it's a lot of chaos, where we can say we have like a change in our administration, change in our prime minister. This is actually the things that require that lead to trust deficit. I can say there's a term that that being introduced, also newly being introduced by our government. Due to the COVID-19, is make it worsen. There are a lot of trust deficit to our institution, where the public start to argue on to what extent is actually the government able to improve their life after COVID-19. So for the Madani concept, they are trying to make sure that the institution is gaining the trust from the public. Yeah, because this is the thing that we experience, which is the trust deficit. Due to the COVID-19, a lot of political disturbance that occur, and it lead to the trust deficit in our political system and our institution. So for the education, we can see that previously we lived with the during the period, because I also have like kids within the age of, I think the most kid that affected is the kid that in 6 years old, because they are 5 to 6 years old, because that time is actually the period that they start to socialize, because most of them go to the school, meet with friends. But during the COVID-19 period, they are not allowed to go out from the house. They actually losing their social interaction with others. This group of kids, this group of actually like left a little bit like left behind in terms of their education due to the COVID-19. So in a Madani concept, the government highlighted this issue. There are not only the group of person in the like the 5 to 6 years old, there are also for the university level, they have like online courses. However, that online courses is also is actually come with the certain challenge, which is a lose in terms of a human touch in doing the assignment. For example, for the higher institution, that lead a lot of the copy paste during doing the assignment, because of the that is the thing that you can do when doing the class online, for example. So in education is actually we found that challenge, we acknowledge that challenge, and the government is try to try to improve that challenge in terms of our education. Yeah. So for the society, they are also during that time in the COVID-19 period, our society is more become, I can say that it is also a rahmah. There is a rahmah di sebalik ujian, I can say. Because previously our society, we can say that this maybe like we are too busy in our work, but during COVID-19 we are need to stay at home. You just stay at home. At that time, this is the time that you start concerning, macam rethinking about yourself. So the society start to become concerned toward each other, try to help each other. Sometimes the help is not come from the government. The government is like taking time to get the help from the government, but the society itself come to help. For example, in the society, we implement that if they're experiencing like really cannot cope with during the COVID-19 outbreak, there is a lot. For example, like doesn't have like food to eat, they got like very high stress level. So the government also society also provide the with the social support in order to help with the cope with the COVID-19. And for the for example, if you do not have like things to eat, maybe during that time the society come up with the idea like you come out with angkat bendera putih, so you show that flag in front of your house, so the society know, okay, this is a house that need help. There is no judgment, there is no any for example criticism during that time, because we know it was a hard time. Everyone need to help each other. So that is the thing that during COVID-19 is already that during COVID-19 has come to the idea that lead to the society become concerned with others. So that thing is actually come forward until now. So as we can see, Malaysia currently facing like flood in our southern area near Johor, and it's also in the east area previously in Kelantan and Terengganu. The society itself come forward to help the society. So this is the thing that we can say that Madani concept is try to improve. So during that time, we also acknowledge that there are also challenges in terms of our in implementing of all of these in policy. We can we can have the policy. We can see that the government can try strategy, try to allocate the money injection, but the government also acknowledge that there are also a challenge for that. It is not that easy to implement the policy. And there's a good thing about this concept is actually the challenge is being acknowledged at the first place. You detect the problem earlier, or in crisis, you can see if you able to anticipate what is actually is going to be your challenge. It is actually the thing that is a good insight for you to take precautions. This is actually the thing that you can improve during the in order for you to improve the subject matter. So for the way forward, I can say that regardless the challenge, regardless the policy, we can say that the key towards that is still monitoring. You can previously we can say that planning part is also crucial. We can have a great idea, but for this reason, for this situation, is actually the most important part is monitoring. You can have a policy, but you can have like an idea in order to cope with that situation. However, if you did not monitor to what extent you actually achieve with your target, this is like you are doing something like with no objective. It's like for no reason. So it doesn't give the impact to the society, to the nation, if you're unable to make sure that you are monitoring part of the policy is actually being strengthened. So this is the thing, this is like almost the end of my talk today, is regarding the government try to enable the institution, make sure that all of the institution understand their role, understand what is actually their challenge previously during COVID-19, how we face that, and after COVID-19, how we face with that challenge. So towards the end, he said that in the end of the regarding COVID, Madani Concept said that memahami itu sulit, namun dengan kefahaman tindakan akan menjadi mudah. So this is the thing that a concept that we try to introduce after COVID-19, that yeah, it is hard for us to understand, but we will work to that kefahaman to ensure that tindakan kita akan jadi lebih mudah. So as I bring to this research topic to close, I am once again thank you for allowing me to be here in this morning, and hope that this talk will give you a clearer understanding regarding our situation of COVID-19 and our topic of discussion for today. So if there is I would like to take this opportunity to also apologize if there is also weaknesses during from my part during delivering of this session, and I believe that all of the goods come from Allah, and inshallah we will get a rahmah and blessing from our talk today. So I pass again to proceed with the next session. Thank you so much.
Thank
for your
you
time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zuliana. Very touchful, very systemic, very comprehensive. Let's have applause for her by just open the camera and then make applause. And also we can do it by put the applause emo at beneath our gadget. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Congratulations. Thank you very much. I just very amazed with your presentation, especially by Madani Concept, which is inside there is ihsan, which is care and compassion, and then you ending it with memahami itu sulit, namun dengan tindakan menjadi mudah, and then Allah bless, may Allah bless everything we do for the future, any pandemic, everything happen in the future. Okay, thank you very much. And then let's have further presentation from Dr. Riswanda. May I, first of all, may we have your presentation, Dr. Zuliana? You can put it in the chat room.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Dr. Ayuning, I already shared it on the chat room.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
You,
Oh, thank you, Ibu Iko. You're the greatest. Okay, I would like to read a brief academic biography from Riswanda, Ph.D., my best friend, of course. Dr. Riswanda is an associate professor in Faculty of Politics and Social Science at University of Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa, where he has been a faculty member since 2008. While serving as research fellows at University teaching in Parahyangan Catholic University and Universitas of Pajajaran. He is also a reviewer in some rank A international journals and editorial member board in many accredited national journals. He possesses a Ph.D. from the School of Social Science and Public Policy, Flinders University of South Australia, completed Master of Public Administration at the Flinders Institute of Public Policy and Management, and his undergraduate studies at Parahyangan Catholic University. His research and teaching interests lie in the area of public policy, ranging from policymaking design to implementation, with a focus on critical policy analysis. In recent years, he has focused on better understanding a qualitative research concentrating qualitative methodologies for analyzing policy and applying critical systemic thinking as a contemporary research paradigm. So, by way of a critical system thinker, he has collaborated actively with researchers championing multidisciplines and multi-perspective public administration. I'm sure he has many works, and then it's amazed me. Some of them from title Reframing Prostitution in Indonesia of Critical Systemic Approach, Systemic Practice and Action Research, and then Prostitution and Human Rights in Indonesia, a Critical Systemic Review of Policy Discourse and Scenarios, Systemic Practice and Action Research, and then many more. That a long list. I will put it also in the chat room. To Mr. Riswanda, Ph.D., please present your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ayuning Budiati. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Zuliana, my best regards. Thank you all for this amazing international talk. And I think Dr. Zuliana, having to visit to Putrajaya at Anwar Ibrahim administrations, one of my best mates, taking me there. And I think the modernity concept is quite interesting. And I suppose we have similar issues and perhaps similar solutions to what I call as Indonesia post-pandemic actions or policy thinking. I would say we have to move on here. Dr. Ayuning Budiati is my best mate in Australian University, and we like, Bu Ayu, we like to have a new term for things. And I would say the Mackenzie Institute say this at this stage on, we are in the next normal. I would like to add the next and better normal. So I would start with what is the tempus? What might come next? What is it? What is the resilience? I would like to make a case that what might have been left out from the post-pandemic strategy is actually how and why the social resilience and how and why political resilience, and then to what extent and in whose opinion economic resilience can interconnected with social and political ideas. And why? Because it's not only affected business and society, it is also affected level of livelihoods for some reasons. And I think both Malaysia and Indonesia face a similar issue in terms of how we can move to the next stage, and how we can also have a better map of what to do here. And this is supposed to be a dialogue, so I'm not lecturing you here. I'm asking you to think about, to have a critical reflection of emerging stronger. That's the Indonesia terms. It turns out how we can recover stronger for Mackenzie, and it's. I would go on with 4 aspects to think about. Here in the country, I think my best friend Azari would agree with me. Similar in Malaysia, perhaps. It's regional rivalry. It's about competitiveness. It's about multidisciplinary strategies. It's about territorial disputes. It's about complex or overlapping regionalism. Why? Because we are now dealing with how we can shift from transition to transformation. I'm now attending a professorship from my best friend, Professor Ida Widyaningsi, and it comes from her speech today. It's transition to transformations and the encounters, the challenge. We are now here in the era of economic and security interests and influence how leadership and personal hegemony is comes into mind how that we can define international law versus national interest versus regional stability. And it's about how the root, shared resources, and power projections will be on stage. And it's about also how the offensive anti-access, access denial, we know the lockdown have bring in benefits as well as particular encounters in how we can a contesting view, how contesting approach come together, and how that can develop a proper security regime, and also how to balance power of interests, national versus international. And another thing to think about is it is a shared research. It's not yet published, but I think it is worth noting that we also think about where we have been in the previous phase and where we are now, the next better, and where we are going towards the new and the next better again. And a paradox though, whilst some environmentalists, for instance, versus conservationists, and dealing with knowledge gap. So I think the whole idea of alternative income earning, the whole idea of security and thinking about which territory that we are going to look after, but it's not all about it. I mean, how and why, and then when, where, we also have to think about the environment as the sentient being. So the policy thinking is also have to think about how those come together in terms of having a atypical solutions of what comes in next in the life. So I thought we can Indonesia have some of the Ministry of Human Development and Culture collaborating Parahyangan Catholic University, and now with Universitas Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa, the Ministry of Village have set up a parameter of how village balancing or connecting the dots between rural and mega urban areas, of how innovations can be measured in the continuums. Firstly, how it can talk about innovation in sustainable environment. That is why I highlight a knowledge gap here comes into mind. And innovation in education during the pandemic period. It also takes a cue on what lesson learned that we have been through. Innovation in public health and innovation in public economy. So if we talk about design thinking and some root causes analysis to put in practice, there is a shift, or we can say it's a little evolution here, that the next normal here let come when we this is a university talk, of course, so I think this fit in. We them and become we us. Inspiring teacher, and then also classroom become a hybrid space, online to offline, and download and debate become download and debate, but then a dialogue, an interactive way of how to do things. And head, hands become head, hands, and heart. There's a spiritual intelligence, there's an emotional quantifier, thoughts in mind here, and a purpose focus. And there is supposed to be the way of how we do things, for say. And another things to talk about, I mean, it's worth also discussing to think about how that can go together in the way that we acknowledge how we can put things in action and how we can do some intervention in social resilience, intervention in political resilience, intervention in economic resilience, defense and security aspects. Should think about how we can actually read the interconnections of those aspects together. So to sum up, I'll keep it in brief so that it can open up a dialogue. How the design thinking and why, and what is the root causes of security development and security and defense terms would say, okay, there's a territorial issue here, but then how that can give space to public, both in both countries, Indonesia and Malaysia, to work together. So last time I was lucky, by the way, Dr. Zuliana, to have some lawatan to Universitas Putra Malaysia with some colleagues there, and we talk about food security. Hopefully that come together with some book chapters with Dr. Ayuning, Bu Rahmi, Bu Arena. They'll be good. But then the next question is how that chapters, how that academic rank A journals that, to be honest, rarely read by the public, except us that call ourselves professionals or academics, how that can shape the government whole idea of policy thinking to come up with an atypical solution to go on with life, the next normal here. We know that 300% skyrocket increase in online transaction. We know that, and it also shaped the behavior of how people learn, how people do their schools, how people think about security. Now we have cyber security at hands here, talking to Malaysia's cybersecurity official in Majelis Keselamatan Negara. That is also can be an indigenous issue here. We deal with that. So I think what's been left out again is a social resilience, the social architecture of how our president, Joko Widodo, clearly stated that food security should not be also understood in terms of rice fields. It's also give us an important homework about how the young generations can have can give an actual hand in the food security terms, in markets, also in social entrepreneurship. So it's the big picture. We have to move to an old archaic idea, for example, of food security, to the next level of neo-pandemic idea of the better normal. That's all I can say, friends and colleagues and students. Thank you. Again, I'm hoping some dialogues here. It's not a class that you attend, but I'm not the wise man here and teaching you, but I'm hoping that I can note your idea too. Thank you. Who are you?
Thank you very much. Very amazing. Many acupuncture point in your presentation, and then you starting the discussion. That is very interesting also. So the audience, would you please to have applause for Dr. Riswanda, Ph.D. By putting the reaction or emoticon underneath, or just make applause within 1, 2, 3. Yay! Congratulations. Okay, within the next 15 minutes, I would like to read the questions or comments, but first of all, from the audience, which is, would you please make your hand raise, or I just read the question from the chat first. So you can, the audience can ask the question by raise your hand and then put it in the chat room. The first question from my students Ikomatus Sunia to Dr. Zuliana. What and how the Malaysia's tourism circumstances and the policy that implement during and post COVID-19? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Iko Sunia, for the question. So I guess that Dr. Iko is interested to know on the circumstances and policy regarding the Malaysia's tourism, what we implemented during and post-COVID. So I am not basically a person from the tourism industry, but what I can say is based on from my insight, which I can say that actually our government had come out with a new dasa for the tourism. It was launched in 2020. Dasa yang dimaksudkan is the Dasa Pelancongan Negara 2020 to 2030, and this dasa is actually is a new hope for the industrial sector in Malaysia after the COVID-19, because as per study, they found that during COVID-19 outbreak, our tourism is highly impacted. We are losing more than 100,000, if I'm not mistaken, 100 billion. This is a statement given by a panel pakar penubuhan pelancongan dunia. They are saying that in Malaysia we are losing like RM 100 billion regarding during the COVID-19 outbreak. So the government had come out with the policy to make sure that our tourism is improve and get macam diberi nafas baru lah, memberi nafas kepada sektor pelancongan negara kita. Selain daripada as part for we open the border, we also come out with the tourism plan, where what we can among their strategies is actually they acknowledge the new product augmentation strategies, which is like previously kita in Malaysia we got like almost limited in terms of our tourism, but now in Malaysia we diverse, we create we come out with the what industry that what type of the market, the thing that we can promote further to ensure that people come to our country. For example, right now we enhance our tourism. We can have like island tourism, community-based tourism, cultural or heritage tourism, eco-tourism. Eco-tourism is quite famous. It's almost implemented in most countries. And adventure tourism, we come out with the adventure activity so that you can come to our country to enjoy the place. Like in Penang, we have like extreme park. But have you got the opportunity to go there? This is also, yeah. Right now, because our tourism is already open, so right now a lot of the tourism is focusing on that activity, adventure activity, ecotourism activity, the youth activity. For example, the activity like the paintball. That's the thing that to attract the tourism it can be from outside of the Malaysia and also from inside of the Malaysia. So support tourism, we have now a lot of sport tourism. So this is a part of the strategy that been implemented under the Dasar Pelancongan Negara, which is we diverse our product previously memang this totally limited. Kita pun tak banyak sangat nak promote, but right now after COVID-19 we start to promote our community based island. Kita ada banyak pulau-pulau yang cantik dekat sini. So this is the thing that we take action, that when we open our border, we try to improve in terms of our tourism. So I hope that that will answer the question. Menjawab tak Mbak? Mbak Iko menjawab tak?
Yes, it's very insightful. Thank you very much, Dr. Zu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ibu Iko and Dr.
Thank
Zuliana.
you, Dr.
I'm
Ayuning.
sorry, Ibu Iko, I thought you are my student because
Yes,
you have
I'm
the same
your
name.
student.
Iko is also my student.
I'm your
So
student,
sorry.
Ayuning.
And then
Don't
I
worry.
would like me and Ibu Rahmi and all the lecturers over here also want to come to your campus, Dr. Zuliana. It's like Untirta Sindangsari in the future, very green, green campus. Okay, next question is for you also, Dr. Zuliana, from Arlaida. This is my student, exactly. Thank you, Dr. Zuliana and Dr. Riswanda for the presentation. I would like to ask about Madani concept, where Dr. Zu has explained before, talking about the Madani concept, how successful has this concept to build national security system in Malaysia, or in terms of overcoming the impact during the COVID period in Malaysia. From the Madani concept, is there any specific program carried out by the Malaysian government in education aspect in implementing the Madani? The question is in the chat room, basically asking about Madani concept, especially in education, Dr. Zuliana.
Okay, thank you so much. I guess the question is from Ailaida Nur Khaliza. Okay, from Public Administration Mayor Untirta. Okay, she would like to ask regarding Madani concept. Is there the concept program? Is there any program that been carried out the government in education aspect implementing the Madani concept? Is it? So regarding program, there are a lot. Madani is actually a new concept that been introduced. It had just started, been launched 19th of January. So right now we only have like nearly 2 months of implementing this program. So what I can say, what the already been implemented is the last 30th of January 2023. We got like the inside of the Madani concept is being explained to our public servant at first, to our education system. For example, we have like before we go to the student, we start educate the educators first. This is the thing that our Ministry of Higher Education highlight the Madani concept. That's why they come out with the trust deficit and also a lot of challenges that been highlighted regarding that. In order, what is actually we should do in order to implement this concept is actually the concept that start from us. Start from what I can say. It's not something that from outside. We are not injecting a lot of money to implement the thing that from the West, for example. It's not the thing like that. So as Madani concept is actually the thing that start from ourselves. So government starting from the 19th of the January is start being launched. The 13th of the January is start being explained to the public educators, to the higher educators, the lecturers, the teachers, to ensure that this is the group of person that will understand what is actually the government trying to say about Madani. Because if you go to the public, the general public at large, without implementing this concept to this group of people that are the implementers of the program, it's like you are not doing the right strategy. Because so they are program. I also believe that this program will have the proper time frame. We also will by our government on how to implement the Madani concept. And at the first start, they start with the public sector public servant at the first place, as we already also being acknowledged, being shared on what is actually the government vision right now on how we are going to restore our trust deficit in the public, and how we are going to restore this concept in our institution. So this is the thing that I believe that they are a program. They are the program that always being, because it's still new. We did not have the proper what is actually the time plan that the program that we'll have after this, because but this is already started with the implementer, because the government is already come forward, who is the implementer of this program, to know and to understand what is actually the Madani concept. Am I answering your question?
Yes.
Inshallah.
Thank you. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
Okay. And then may I just say hi for a while, Dr. Zuliana, to all my colleagues and my students over here. Thank you very much for coming into this seminar, international seminar, all of my students from FISIP Untirta, and also hello and good in healthiness always to Dr. Kandung, Ibu Rina, all of the lecturers at FISIP Untirta, Ibu, the head of a public administration department, Ibu Arenawati, and then Ibu Ima, and then all of students. Hopefully we all always in a good health. The next question is from Dewi Setiawati from Magister. First of all, thanks to Dr. Zu and Dr. Riswanda for the presentation. I would like to ask about handling the learning crisis for kindergarten post-pandemic in Malaysia. How about strategy to implement that? Thank you. And Ibu Indonesia, hi. Please, Dr. Zuliana, thank you very much.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much, Ibu Dewi, for the question regarding the kindergarten pasca pandemic in Malaysia. So, from what I can say is, I am also a mother to like 1-year-old and a 5-year-old. So, my kid is actually the one who get involved during the COVID-19, where she unable to go to the school, to go to her kindergarten due to the COVID-19. So what I can say during the crisis, during the pandemic, we have like a very strict procedure in terms of how many students is actually that kindergarten can manage. For example, previously they got like 12 students. They got like only 2 classes. It means like 6 students in one class. 6 students is quite a small number. But for the during COVID-19, in order to make sure that we are implementing the social distancing, the number is being reduced. Yeah. So they in handling the because kid is actually it's hard for you. You are saying that you put them, for example, in a box. Okay, this is your territory, this is your friend's territory, you cannot go to your friend's territory. You cannot do that to a kids, because the kindergartens, because they're still small, they did not understand regarding the what is actually the situation that they are facing right now. Same as the wearing face mask, because when we are going outside, me also experience it is also part of the kindergarten procedure. You need to ensure that your kid is well, is not having any symptom like flu, like cough. They are totally well, in order to ensure that this virus is not being affected to others. So for the kids, this is the part, for example, to ensure that your kids is well, is a part of the parents. But for the part that require them to wear the face mask, for example, there are some kids that are thinking like, oh no, I cannot wear the face mask. For example, for my kids, keep complaining, why I need to wear a face mask? It's like troublesome. So this is the thing that try at the first place. It was a challenge faced by the kindergarten teachers. They need to explain to this kid that this is actually the norm that we need to live right now. So even that, I can say that right now we are actually like in the endemic phase. She can go to her kindergarten without wearing a mask. However, she's like a habit. Where is my mask? Because previously that she is like, yeah, I cannot wearing. I should wear mask. This is like a step, a precautions that I can take in order to ensure that I am still safe from COVID-19. So this is actually the strategy. And what I can say is a good insight. What I can say, I can praise the management of the school where they can make like this kid, even that they are at a young age, they have the self-reflection, they have the self-responsibility that come from the kindergarten, because that is the thing that implemented during the kindergarten. So even though that we are not facing with the serious COVID-19 right now, the habit is still continues. So this is the thing that I can say, the good thing, the handling that we can learn from the COVID-19. This is not something that totally 100% is not giving a good thing to our society. It's actually from the kindergarten, she already have like okay, there is going to be a virus, so I need to take care of myself. I need to wear the safety precautions. I need to ensure that I'm not quite close to my friend during when they are having a symptom. So this is the thing that I can say that I can share on how actually part of the pasca pandemic and brief on during the pandemic time of COVID-19 during the kindergarten, based on my personal experience. Thank you so much for the question, Debbie.
Amazing, so cute. They're all kindergarten with a habit already. Okay, thank you very much. Please, actually, I want to say hi to Dr. Atik from Unjani at Bandung. And would you please ask the question with Indonesian or English? It's all right, isn't it, Dr. Zuliana? Yeah. So it's all right to raise the question with Indonesian. Anyone want to ask the question or just give comment? And Dr. Riswanda already puts many very important and interesting acupuncture point. So would you please any question for him? For me is just, let's see, at 1 o'clock at Ibu Ida di Pati Ukur, Pak Riswanda. We can meet each other over there. And would you please give example, Pak Riswanda, with the transformation, especially for future pandemic that may be conduct in any other countries, the whole world. How to resolve that kind of problem by shifting that you already mentioned before. Dr. Riswanda, would you please give your comment?
Yeah, a policy transformation can be exemplified by connecting research into practice. I think our Ministry of Higher Education today have put forward a claim that the way to do it, or a way to do it actually, is improving, is by changing the paradigm of learning itself. The university here, if we want to quote multiple helix terms, can collaborate actively with media, companies, local wisdoms, community-based organizations, and also business entities, government, locals, national, or even international. And more importantly, I would like to key in the environmental issue. By meaning, it's not only the environment's biosphere, but also social environment. That's what's been left out. And that is why the President Joko Widodo has properly come up with the idea of Ministry of Human Development and Culture, so that human development can be the ground of policy idea of how development is not only about having a new toll roads or a new fancy train, but it also can solve human index issue. By the way, we are now have an improving human development index, which is good, and also we have also now a rural urban concept that comes together with the East Indonesia priority development, and also we have put research in point by Badan Riset Inovasi Nasional, which soon will be Badan Riset Inovasi Daerah, which is good, I think, to bridge the research gap between research in academic circular, academia, with the political praxis enhanced. Thank you, Bu Ayu.
Wonderful point of view, very interesting also. Any comment or question? Welcome aboard Dr. Ipah Emma Jumiati, the head of Public Administration Magister. Maybe Ibu Arena or Ibu Emma would like ask a question. Silakan in Indonesian, because I'm sure Dr. Zuliana can understand also. Silakan, dipersilakan langsung menyampaikan pertanyaannya. We have 5 minutes more. Silakan, Ibu Dr. Ipah Emma mungkin, atau Ibu Dr. Atik. You are the farthest, paling jauh, because you are at Bandung, from Unjani. Ibu Ipah Emma, do you have any question? Please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Ayuning Budiati. I already have finished my class. Nice speakers today. Thank you so much. My question is about...
Ujian dulu tidak apa-apa, Bu Emma. Saya hai dulu kepada tamu kita, Dr. Zuliana.
Ya.
Welcome.
Welcome to Untirta Jawara, all speakers. Thank you so much for coming to visit Untirta.
Jawara itu apa, Ibu Emma, singkatannya? Because Malaysia also has Madani. Jawara, jujur.
Oh.
Stands for jujur.
Jujur, amanah, wibawa, adil,
Religious,
akuntabel, dan amanah ya.
Okay, excellent.
For the question, I will tell Miss Ayu next, Bu Ayu.
Okay, thank you very much. Terima kasih. Anyone wanna ask or just greet Dr. Zuliana and everyone over here? We have 4 minutes more. Oh, to Pak Riswanda, Ph.D. Just say hi. How about from me, Dr. Zuliana? I hope this is not the last one. Would you please just give one example strategic action from the point of Madani, which is ihsan, care and compassion, what has been done for that kind of strategic action? Sorry, because I'm teaching management strategy, so I'm interested for asking that kind of question. And then I also teach character or akhlak. This is very interesting because Malaysia has acupuncture point on ihsan. It's the same like Islamic point of view. Thank you, Dr. Zuliana.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. So the question is regarding ihsan, or we can say as rahmah. So in general, what ihsan is the strategy that we try to the aim of the ihsan is actually we want to memelihara dan menyediakan keperluan asas yang diperlukan demi kesejahteraan semua pihak. So ihsan is actually the thing that that always that we saying that we are going toward ihsan. What we do, we are going to provide all of the needs by of our citizens. So in order for a Madani, for a country that want to be like a country that ihsan, the country need to ensure that they are fulfilling the basic need of the citizen. So in this case, they can say that there is a challenge. For example, we have like to ensure that every group of every group of the citizen get their at least for their basic need. There is also a challenge because they are still there's not a problem. The challenge in terms of, for example, in terms of the minority. Ihsan, sometimes the challenge that we raise is that did not come towards the minority part, which is they are almost like minority means like not get the whatever government try to anticipate, the strategy that government try to acknowledge, but for the minority group, they are always like the left behind. The minorities here, I can say like the group of person that need the special need. For example, the senior citizen, they are the group that require the attention that sometimes in ihsan they are the group of the person that require a special task, that require the special attention. Normally, the government only the concern on the normal person group, which is like the B40, the person that is a normal person, that in ihsan to ensure that the government able to provide by at least keperluan asas yang diperlukan oleh kesejahteraan semua pihak. The minority group must be ensured that they are not left behind. So this is the thing that in the strategy, in the Madani concept, they already acknowledge regarding the minority group. Yeah, this is a group of person that require our special touch, that require our help in order to be more ihsan. So in ihsan, the implementation of Manadi, we can see that in terms of zakat implementation, in terms of wakaf, that's the thing that the government is trying to use that platform in order to ensure that they are doing the ihsan toward the citizen through the platform of wakaf, through the platform of the zakat. Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Just really the same with Madania as Rasulullah SAW before. Thank you very much. And then I think this is the end of the international seminar. May I ask Ibu Dr. Zuliana Azwa and Dr. Riswanda Ph.D. to have closing remarks or closing statement.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the time and for your time and for your question that is given for me throughout this session. So saya mengucapkan jutaan terima kasih lah, especially kepada Ibu Iko melalui perantaraan. Actually, Dr. Iko Matasunia is actually my friend throughout my study. So she's giving me the opportunity. Through this, I know Tirta but I never have opportunity to go to Utara. But with the collaboration after this, I hope that I got the opportunity to visit Tirta soon, inshallah. And I would like to apologize if there is weaknesses from me during delivering the speech. So I really hope that we can get a lot of rahmah, we can get a lot of positive feedback from the presentation that we get today. And thank you so much to the opportunity given, and I hope that everyone is get the blessing based on our sharing today. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zuliana. Within 1, 2, 3, we give applause to her. 1, 2, 3, yay! Congratulations. And then next, Bapak Riswanda, Ph.D.
Yes, hopefully this meeting, Dr. Zuliana, will be a starting point for research collaborations, and we put a practice by do it ourselves by making sure that the sustainability of social engagement, like we do now, have also put in mind this the relationship of multi-species, including the environment. So social security can be redefined as a social architecture. In my terms, to use McIntyre phrase, this is about multi-species habitat or relationship. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Within 1, 2, 3, we have applause for Bapak Riswanda, Ph.D. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Congratulations. Very amazing today. So right now, I would like to ask Bapak Udi, Dr. Udi, to give the certificate to all of the speakers and then have the closing speech. And then close this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Ayu. Ini luar biasa ya, pagi yang akhirnya saya belajar banyak juga nih isu di dua konteks tentang Malaysia dan Indonesia melalui presentasi dari Ibu Dr. Zuliana and then Pak Riswanda. Ya, thank you very much. We really appreciate. I believe that it's not only me personally who learned a lot about the issue that you both have presented this morning. All of us who are attending this morning sessions also learn a lot about Madani and then about a better life after the pandemic that Pak Riswanda has also floats to every one of us. And this certificate adalah bentuk dari penghargaan dari kami, Bu Dr. Zuliana Azwa Binti Zulkifli. Thank you very much. We are very happy with the talk, and then again, as I said previously, we learned a lot from you, and then hopefully we can also meet again for other events in the future. To our beloved colleague Pak Riswanda yang luar biasa ya pagi ini, insight-nya luar biasa tentang innovation ya, innovative acts after the after the pandemic COVID-19. So I believe that issue about collaboration, expanding more perspectives, seeing more stakeholders for us to collaborate is another issue, which is also very interesting for the explore in the next session. And ini adalah sertifikat apresiasi dari kami, Pak. Mohon diterima, ditampi. Terima kasih banyak. Mudah-mudahan tidak kapok untuk nanti kita bisa berkolaborasi lagi di event-event berikutnya di International Office. Last but not least, Pak Nugraha, masih ada sertifikat? Iya. Untuk Ibu Ayu ya. Dr. Ayuning Budiati, thank you very much Ibu, luar biasa sekali sudah memoderasi kegiatan ini. Yeah, it's not only about facilitating actually, but you are leading, participants to ask very critical questions that can help everyone to also learn from those questions and responses from the speakers. Thank you ya Bu, terima kasih. Mudah-mudahan ini bermanfaat dan tidak kapok juga untuk berkolaborasi dengan International Office in the future. Atur nuhun, terima kasih.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor, for Dr. Udi, which is my best friend from long time ago. Right now is very interesting occasion, last occasion, which is taking pictures. Yay! Would you please open all of the camera?
The most awaited moment ya, sepertinya.
Yeah, epic moment. Yeah, hello Ibu Emma, hello Ibu Arenawati, Ibu Servi, and then all my student, Ibu Yeni. Within 1, 2, 3, I will press the button Ibu Dr. Zuliana, don't be surprised with our habit, ya. Taking pictures. Okay. 1, 2, 3, the first screen. 1, 2, 3, smile. Kimchi. Okay, next screen, second one. My student screen. 1, 2, 3. The third one. The fourth one. And the fifth one. Okay. May I have one more for the last picture from the first slide? 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for coming today in this very interesting occasion. Thank you very much for International Office from Untirta. Hopefully we can have further cooperation and collaboration, Dr. Zuliana Azwa, because collaboration is based on our willingness inside that Dr. Riswanda Ph.D. already mentioned before from theory U, which is presenting, that it comes from our heart. So I think, I'm sure within further moment, we have discussion or further activities. Thank you very much by saying hamdalah, alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
See you next time.
Thank you so much.
See you, bye.
Bye. I will give
Dr.
the.
Zuliana ya. Terima kasih banyak.
Thank you so
Terima kasih.
much.
Thank you.
Selamat, Bu Ayu.